Okay, so here's the living room in the first floor of the main house. I'm sorry about the weird shadows. The two rooms on the bottom here, they're too dark for me to film on their own, so I have to use a light. And yeah, shadows are weird. But yeah. So let's start over here. And for this, I actually don't really need to move Kanani out of the way, so I'll just leave her. The couch is homemade by me. I kind of used in my Froggy Stuff tutorial, kind of used my own imagination, so it's kind of a mix between those two, and it's really blue and polka dotty, and Kanani's chilling over there right now. And behind her is a lamp, and it's actually a real, like, bedside table lamp. The cord is still wrapped around the bottom and everything, but I just used a miniature lamp top that I got at GoodWill. So they have a bunch of posters, and a cat card and stuff. Pretty cool. There's Chocolate Chip the dog, and the little table right here, my dad made when he built this dollhouse, and he covered it in wood contact paper. Duh, it's already made out of wood. And on it there's a nutcracker, flower pot, camera, purses underneath, and then there's the dog. And then over here is the coffee table. And this is kind of slanted because during the holidays there's a little bit more room in here because I take some stuff out to put upstairs. So it's kind of slanted to make it look like it takes up more room. And this is really messy because my coffee table is usually really messy, and I wanted this dollhouse to be as realistic as possible. So on it, there's a candy cane, video games, there's a poinsettia flower. They have their mail right here, and in it I put some Christmas cards. They have this bowl, and it's pottery, and I painted it. Just for my dolls, and there's some, stickers, candy, and stuff like that. Behind it, they have, well, all across the back of the house right there, they have some ribbon, which you cannot really see on this tripod, so let me take it off real quick. But yeah, there's just some ribbon all right back here. Man, I am having all the tripod issues in this video. I'm sorry. So they have a chair from GoodWill that we spray painted white to match the couch. It has a cushion, some popcorn. What is that called? Yeah, popcorn. Back there, the Our Family thing, which you also can't really see. It's the first photo I ever took on a camera, and I printed it off. Well, the first doll photo I ever took, and it's really special. So my dolls at the time and stuff. So over here, this is probably my favorite thing in the dollhouse, and it's this little bookshelf right here. They have some stuff on top, but in it, there's a Russian nesting doll, which is my favorite thing ever. And then it's the entire Harry Potter book series. I can't speak, I'm sorry, but they all actually open and there's words inside and stuff, and it's really, really cool. They have a plant over here. There's a rug on the entire bottom thing, by the way. And then over here they have their flat screen wall mounted TV, and usually below it they have a fireplace, but that's upstairs in the Christmas room right now, so it makes the room a lot more bigger looking. And over here they have an empty little Christmas bag. You can see the shadow on my hand, well, not my actual hand. Okay, so there's the Christmas bag, and then they have a little pot full of flowers. So yeah, so that is the living room, and now we're gonna move next door to the kitchen. So here's the kitchen, and I'm gonna move Caroline out of the way so we can get started. Okay, so here's the kitchen. Again, I apologize for the weird shadows. It's just that this room is probably the darkest room in the entire dollhouse. Especially today, it's kind of overcast, so it doesn't really help. But, whatever. So the back over there, they have the Our Generation kitchen, which is so popular. I'm not even going to really bother showing you it. Whoa. Oh my gosh. More tripod issues. I am so sorry. I'm not going to show you the kitchen because there's so many videos on it, but if you want to see all my doll food or something, let me know down below in the comments and I can probably make a separate video on that. But on the microwave, they do have a little Christmas bow because, Christmas and stuff. They do have a lot of food and stuff. So they have a little bag down there, a mat. Over here, they have a little storage area. And on this, I have some icicles. Oh, and I have some icicles on the kitchen thing as well. There's one right there. These are leftover ornaments I got from Michael's, and I just hung them around in the kitchen. They have a calendar that's still set on August. So again, shadow on my hand, but not my actual hand. They have this glass bowl full of all their cookies, a bird cage, and in this green one, I keep the majority of their silverware and, serving bowls and stuff like that. They have a little plant down there with a little shopping purse next to it. And then this thing is the thing that makes my kitchen really special, I think. And it's what I really like that I've never seen before in another doll kitchen video or anything. So it's it's a cardboard box with wood contact paper and then like granite contact paper on top. But the thing is, it's entirely hollow, so I store a bunch of doll food stuff. As you can see, there's a teapot right there. But this is really cool to me because when I got this and I put it in, there was like no counter space for my dolls. Like, you just have that. So I talked to this with my grandmother, and we built this. So it's made out of cardboard, and it wasn't big enough, so there's another little box on the bottom. And it's just a place, it's a counter space for them to, you know, make food, do stuff, you know, kitchen stuff, cook stuff, you know, place to prepare and do all that stuff, because there isn't any room for this in the Our Generation kitchen. So on the front, there's a big wreath from the dollar store. They have donuts, a cup full of little candy canes that I made, a bowl of peppermints. They have a little cake stand with a doily underneath it, and it has a gingerbread house. Back there they have a pitcher with, you know, drinks and fruits and cupcakes and ice cream and a waffle maker and, you know, just kitchen stuff. And then back there on the wall, there's a little Christmas card, and it's pigs wearing a Santa hat. And that wall's kind of empty, and I wanted to decorate a little bit more for Christmas, so there's that right there on the wall. Then again, they have some more inspirational posters and stuff like that. But that's my kitchen, and I hope you all enjoyed it. So now we're going to go upstairs, and there's 2 bedrooms. So yeah, let's get started. This is Sage and Abigail's room, and it got dark all of a sudden, so I need to use my photography light in this room when in reality I usually don't. So I'm going to move Abigail out of the way. Okay, and this is where the bed frame went from Our Generation that Zoe's bedding is on. So there it is right there. It has some stuff on it, and underneath it I have a separate doll mattress, so it works as a trundle bed. And then they have their slippers. Over here they have their nightstand and a lamp, and they have a little snowflake ornament hanging from it. They have some books and glasses and stuff like that. And Sage collects rubber duckies, so her rubber ducks are over there. And she has some posters. They have some more tinsel hanging from the wall for Christmas. They have Red and Link posters, YouTube posters, stuff like that. They have a shelf over here with some jukebox, music, I don't know what it's called, I forget, stereo, camera, pigs, you know, shelf stuff. And over here in the corner, they have, well, there's a hat for Sage's writing stuff. It's a cowboy hat, little easel chalkboard thing. Some of Abigail's pig collection is back there because she collects pigs. This hat is totally blocking all of it though. They have some purses down there and stuff like that. And then over here, they just have a little gift box for Christmas, and it's totally empty. It's just for decoration. But that is their room, and this room is probably the room that I want to change the most. But I really like it still, so yeah. And now we're moving on to Molly's bedroom, which is my favorite room in the dollhouse. I cannot wait to share it with you. So now we're on to Molly's room, and I'm sorry about the shadows again. I'm using my camera light because it's kind of dark, even though this is day 2 of filming, but it's still kind of dark. So Molly's room is definitely my favorite room. I know I said I like Zoe's and stuff, but this room is my favorite out of the entire dollhouse. I love it so much. So let's get started with over here. So Molly's bed is her yellow one, which came out by American Girl a couple years ago. I really like it. Yeah. She has some gingerbread lady girls on her bed, along with some custom bedding. She has some dolls, My Little Ponies, stuff like that. Her nightstand's over here, and it's from GoodWill, and it has a lamp on it with her little tiara. It has a vase, you know, stuff like that. Lunchbox, slippers, tap shoes. Her dog Bennett's in front. I think that's his name. I totally forgot. Sorry if it's not. Over here she has a closet, which is actually totally empty. It's really just for display. And on it she has one of those like light up Christmas necklaces you get at like Walgreens. And I have it strung across her dresser. Up top she has a bunch of, so on top of her dresser she just has some board games, tic-tac-toe, a box full of a bunch of more dolls and stuff. Down here she has a baby doll from Target, a Furby, and then a little basket full of a bunch of My Little Ponies. And over here is my favorite part of the whole room, and it's this little shelf, and on the top it has a bunch of My Little Ponies, and these come from blind bags. And then she has some Lala Loopsies here, and the rest of them are down here. And it's a Lala Loopsie little dollhouse thing made out of this shelf. And then down here she has some extra toys. And then right there she has a little coat rack with her hat and school bag and stuff. Then she has a bunch of My Little Pony posters all around the room because she loves My Little Pony. And yeah, that's Molly's room. And now we move upstairs to the loft and Christmas room. So this is the loft, and it's the biggest room in the entire dollhouse. It consists of two parts, and that is this area, and it's divided by the closet right here. We're going to start with this area, and this area is usually kind of like an extra sitting area. They usually have like a giant couch in here and some games and stuff, but during Christmas time it becomes the Christmas room. So the Christmas tree set up, and they have stockings and everything. So let's get started on the Christmas room over here. So they have a shelf, and it has some like nutcrackers and a bunch of Christmas cards, some extra little presents and stuff. I got it at GoodWill, and it just, you know, has a bunch of Charlie Brown Christmas tree, stuff like that. And then here is the tree. And if you want to know more about where I got all the ornaments and stuff, check out my last 3 videos because it talks about where I got all my Christmas decorations. Underneath the tree, it has all the presents for my dolls from me. I wrapped all of them and they could open them on Christmas morning. I do it for a blog post, so I needed a space with a lot of room, and this was also the only room that could fit the tree with the star on top. But yeah, but the tree is from Target and the ornaments are from a bunch of different places, but if you want to know, again, go check out my last couple videos. And then over here you have the fireplace, and this is usually downstairs in the living room, but for Christmas time I keep it wherever the Christmas tree is so that they can put their stockings on it and stuff. So there are 3 different levels of stockings there, the red ones with sparkles, Santa Claus and Gingerbread Man, and then there's Tinkerbell and princesses. And they're all they're strung by ribbon and they're taped on each edge. And then when Santa comes, he puts like little gifts in there. So that's the Christmas room. Again, if you want to know more about where I got all the little stuff in here, check out my last 3 videos. But this is the room that changes the most because usually this stuff is all in boxes and now it's not. So yeah. And now we're going to move on to this part. And this is Kanani and Lainey's bedroom. So let's start over here with the divider, which is the closet. Again, this closet is totally empty, just like Molly's. It's really just there for decoration, but there's a bag on top. And then on top of the closet, they have a bunch of like toys and stuff like that. They have a bunch of posters as well. A lot of Lord of the Rings and Frozen. They have a shelf all the way up there with a bunch of Dalmatians on it and stuff like that. Their nightstand is down here, and it's from GoodWill, and it has a little owl and a solar-powered lamp on it, and it's really cute. Here's their bed, and I got this for Christmas a couple years ago, but I believe it's from Amazon, and they have their slippers down at the bottom, the ladder. It's actually a bunk bed with a trundle, but nobody sleeps in the trundle, so if I ever get another doll, she'll have there, and it'll be a 3-person bedroom, because there's definitely enough room to have that. So the middle bunk is Kanani's, and she has some stuffed animals and stuff there. They have some jingle bells on the edge of it, because, you know, Christmas. And then Lainey's bed is all the way on the top, so it's really, really high up there. It's kind of hard to see, but she has a laptop and a bunch of stuff like that. And yeah, so that's the loft area. And that's the last part of the big old dollhouse. But there are 2 more rooms right here. So let's I'll show you that now. So the next section of my dollhouse is actually on the floor. And let me show you where it is compared to the other ones. So here's the big dollhouse right here. And there's the guest bed, because this is technically the guest bedroom / my dollhouse room. And I keep the 2 closets on the edge of the guest bed. So on top of the 2 closets, they have this is a live poinsettia. I have it up here for Christmas. and it's really Christmassy and stuff, and it's really nice. And then they have some shopping bags, the stools that go with these, the extra Christmas ornaments, a stand, stuff like that. So here are the two closets, and I got both of these at Goodwill, but they're from our generation. And in the first one, it's all of their dresses, and on the bottom, it's all their pajamas. And then in this one, it's skirts on the top, and then just some random stuff down on the bottom. So that's the first one. And the second one is a little bit harder to get to, but I'll show it to you anyway. In this one, they have all of their tank tops and t-shirts, and everything's color organized. In the bottom of this one, they have all their jackets and sweaters and everything, and that's also color coordinated. And then in the very last one over here, they have leggings and extra hangers and tights and all that stuff. So in the back corner, they have a little wicker chair with a belt on it. And then over here is the next room, and I call this the stable. Well, it is a stable, that's what it is. It's a cardboard box, and it was my first ever doll room, and we re-contact papered it really, really poorly, and it needs to be redone really, really badly. But my grandmother and I just couldn't bear to see this go because it was the first one we ever did, so we made it into a horse stable. And it's also where the pets stay, so it's like a pet stable too. But right here is where I keep all the stuff for the dogs. So they have some dog food, some bowls, frisbee, there's a basket for the bunny rabbits. So then the stable, and I'm gonna move the horses out of the way. So the dolls both have two horses, and here's one of their dogs. Both of these horses are from our generation, but I got them at Goodwill. So yeah, okay. Inside the stable is really cool. It's one of my favorite rooms. They have, let me take this off the tripod. Okay, so they have like a helmet. Here it is. I don't really know what this is, but it like closes and opens, and we got it at Goodwill, and it's a perfect little stable room. As you can see, yeah, the contact paper is really, really bad in here. We really need to redo it. On this side is more of the pet side. They have a horse blanket, all the collars and leashes, toys and stuff. They have a little pet bath. Here they have their oats. It's cut cardboard, and then they have a little bag of there, more food, and then I have a bunch of horse accessories from our generation, homemade leads, a saddle, and yeah, so that's the horse room. And now we go upstairs to the sewing room. So this is the sewing room, and it was greatly inspired by Isabel's, as you can tell from this right here. It's held on to the cardboard box with a thin piece of wood. And the sewing room is definitely my greatest crafting accomplishment. So the whole thing is built out of the trunk, and it's a Journey Girls trunk, and I used to store all my doll clothes in it, but we have greatly outgrown it. So just kind of in the trunk, I made a shelf. Oh, and there's two drawers, and I keep Connor's clothes in both of them. So in it, I have my old doll sewing machine made out of Legos, some like fabric swatches, a box full of bobbin, and I like hand threaded all of those little things, and it took so long, but it's so cute. Up here we have extra little bobbin things, little pattern books, whatever, and more fabric swatches. Right down here we have a little shopping basket. On top there is some more jingle bells, and then this really, really big bow, a bunch of Santa Clauses on it. On this side of the trunk, there's a little sewing board that I made. And so here's the actual table. It's not connected to that back there, so I can remove it and close the trunk up. So it works really well. This is made out of foam core board, and I originally was made out of cardboard, but my grandmother fixed it, and it looks really nice, and it's so much more sturdy now. So on this side, they have a cutting board with a rotary cutter and all that stuff, and I made all of this. Everything on this desk is a huge like DIY project. Fashion sketchbook, more pattern things. They have a seam ripper, pins. Back here they have a little bowl with yarn, and they have scissors and colored pencils, and they have a little strawberry pin holder. It has a needle in it, some tape. And then on this side, they have a chair, and on the chair is a little stocking, and it's from the chair's from Goodwill. And then the sewing machine's also from Goodwill, but it's like a little miniature one, and it like actually works and stuff, and it's really, really cool. So that's the sewing room. And like I said, it was really inspired by Isabel's, and I'm really, really proud of it. I really, really love it. And yeah, so now we move on to the last section of the dollhouse, which is two little closets where I keep the rest of their clothes. So this is the last section of the dollhouse, and it's right here, right where it leads into the closet, which I'm also going to show you. So right down here there's a little white wicker chair, and this is usually in the loft when the Christmas stuff isn't there, but it's just here now because I have nowhere else to put it. They have a beach chair from Build-A-Bear, which I got at Goodwill. So here is the closet where they keep all of their long sleeve shirts, and it's all color coordinated. Most of them are gone because they're wearing it because it's all winter. I keep their headbands here when they're not in the bathroom, and these are the ones that go all the way around their head that you like slip over. I have a little box with socks. That rhymes, hey? They have a toothbrush for when I curl hair. Up here, I keep all the pants and shorts, and it's also all color coordinated. I really don't like the way my clothing system is set up. Like, it's really, really good when I need something, but I'd rather have all my closets together, but they're not that far. So there are the normal closets, and then here are all the other closets. And then this closet is made out of a cardboard box. I bought a doll scooter from Goodwill, and it's from, like, What a Doll. I think it's from Kmart. But it came in an ice cream box, and we used it as, like, a prop. And then once I didn't need it anymore, we made it into a thing. And there's also a little rack to put shoes. So yeah, that's the entire dollhouse. It's pretty amazing. It's over 20 rooms. But I am going to show you right before we finish is the closet, which I keep all my doll stuff in. I'm not using a tripod for this part, so I'm sorry if it's a little bit shaky, but this is the closet, and I keep all of my doll stuff in it. So here's the entire room, and then the closet's at the very back. There's a trash can in front of it. Here's the light switch, but the light's already on. So it opens up, and it's a little bit crowded. But here's my other doll room that I don't have room for right now, and it's a hospital room. So that's really cute. These are the boxes where I usually keep my Christmas stuff in, and they usually go down here, but I keep them here because I'm going to put them away soon. I keep some Disney Animator Collection clothes, all my doll vehicles, the old pet stable Sage's Hot Air Balloon that I made. It's really cool. Then all the vehicles are up here, so like the camper, the movie theater, all that stuff. I have more boxes. There's the Halloween stuff. I have some old stuff from when I was little. And then down here I have a little baby stroller from when I was little, more vehicles. These are my backdrops that I use for videos and stuff. This is the couch that usually goes in the loft. I have a hair salon thing. I have the rest of my photography lights. My music stand for when I do catalog videos. More boxes that hold all decorations. Some little random bits that didn't make it into their box. American Girl boxes. I have all the craft books, and yeah. That is my entire American Girl dollhouse. It's over 20 rooms, and it's really, really big. It's from almost 8 years of collecting, and I love it so, so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and tell me what your favorite room was in the comments. If you guys have any questions, or you want a room tour of a certain room more in depth, let me know down below in the comments, and I'll try to do that soon. Thanks for watching, guys, and Merry Christmas.